blank time, starting the clock leveraged on life that determines every division considered by the parents that are leasing us from the king, the lordship, and the crown. Because the moment we allow a hospital and a doctor into our reality, the moment we allow that birth certificate and social security paperwork to be signed, we have now allowed, put ourselves in the position of renting and leasing our own child. How'd you know I needed that? Okay. Gender, color. So now we're going to look at the divisions. So you got the gender, the color, the religion, socioeconomics, country, status, trauma, and more, right? Total enslavement of the child, total enslavement of all of us, total division by so many constructs and so many ideologies and so much bullshit and lies. Now, listen, when you say gender, color, religion, status, trauma, blah, 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 you're placing labels upon us, right? And these most labels placed upon us are defined as we pass through the what? What do we pass through when we're born? But the labia. The labia. Okay? So they named the woman's lips the labia, which is labels of our mother's tender lips, adorned upon us by our parents' choices and their spoken and written signatures that begins with the man's X's and Y's, women's too, but the women has the chromosomes, men have the chromosomes. It's equal and comparable, but the men writes the signature XX, XY, and the woman writes the RH factor or not. And when you look at RH factor, you look at RH fact or ... RH fact or ... would mean fiction. Not, don't ask me what that goes into right now. I can't do it because I haven't gone there yet, but I'm going to go there. But I do know that's what that means. So the inhospitable hospital nurses and care, that which cares for our entrance, everything that cares for our entrance, you know, so the hospital nurses, it cares for our entrance, attending to us, even though they are spiritually deficient and under the inebriation of indoctrination, which if you look at the word indoctrination, you've got the word doctor right in there again. Built on education and other means, true drunken to understand that their noble but humble role is borne by diabolical measures given to causative suffering of which they cannot see as truth. So though there are many doctors and many, many nurses that get into the field because they want to help people, they want to take care of people, they love babies, they love the birthing process. Please, let's not underestimate that. But the way that they're doing it comes through the indoctrination process of poor education through the Rockefeller, allopathic bullshit. And therefore they're doing everything so egregiously wrong and inappropriate, creating harm against child, baby, mother, father, etc. Next image, please. So here you can see the word labels, labia, and then you can spread it apart. And you see, I mean, the word, not the legs, lab dash AI. Okay, labels, labia, and lab AI. So now when you look at that, you understand, now wait a minute, hold on a second. So what they're saying is the woman's and the men's anatomy, it writes the signature. The woman's anatomy is the lab created for the AI in order to introduce the next battery. You can see the word indoctrination to indoctrination. So here under the hands of white coats who are too blind and too infected to see, who assigns our health status and medical anagram is demical and demonical. Just so you know, medical anagram is demical and then demonical. Choices. So who assigns our health status and medical choices that begin the imprinting of our soul by many means. So the system begins the absorption of our essence by the invading pirating as the certification of our life, right? Birth certificate, before it even begins, and is stamped as an O-ring moored slave, because it's connected to the placenta, which is the first planet that we have. So moored slave to an earthship that has decided only to eat from us as our first descent into Gaia began, being as a baby. Yep, that's another boom shakalaka. Yeah. Okay, next image, please. Oh, you can see the medical there, right? And the X and Y's and RH factor or factor. And again, fact or, you've got doc or, so we've got this whole whatever I was going to say and I just forgot about. So I'm just going to move on. So our first blood is drawn. The first blood that is ever drawn in our lives is drawn from our heels. Okay. And the word heels actually represents the word hell, because heels actually is the word hell, by the way. And also the heat of the L's, or the Elohim, which we know is the electrostatic field. And then the souls, SOLES, and the souls are representing our SOULS souls by being supplanted here by our birth itself. That's why they take the foot and they put it on black ink and they press it on a piece of paper. Now the foot, or that soul, has been supplanted into this planet with a certificate, for God's sakes, labeled, right, labia, identified, and then stored in a laboratory. So there's your lab again, along with our black inked. And the word black actually means to be of lack. Now, yes, you could say, but they use black ink because it's easier to see, but they could use blue ink and red ink and green ink and just fine. So black ink is to be of lack. And the ink itself represents Inke, the lord of the waters or the seas of the EA paradigm that we're in. Do you see how it's all working, coming together? Okay. So stored in a laboratory along with our black inked souls, or what we know as the bottom of our defeat.